Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another exciting, another glorious Propagandacast with me, your host, Imperial Dane, Master of Propaganda, Hero of the Reich, Defender of the Fatherland, here to deliver on to you. Here's another glorious Propagandacast, and one you probably will not be expecting, so don't turn away, because it will be a fight with Ironroman, but this will be a fight unlike any fight featuring Ironroman. Trust me on that one, you will not see this coming. Ironroman fighting for the 7th Armoured, the Desert Rats, Monty's boys. Opposing him shall be CryHavoc and the Let Loose, the Wehrmacht of War, fighting for the Wehrmacht, fighting for the 2nd SS Panzer Division, Das Reich. We are seeing pioneers immediately getting engaged. They're all on the right hand side. A recce section going in for CryHavoc's pioneers, going pretty aggressively for the fuel over there. Infantry section on the way for Ironroman, number 2 that is, and we are of course seeing a pretty pioneer heavy start from CryHavoc. Pretty common for many Wehrmacht players to do so, to basically seize as much territory away from the Commonwealth initially, and then getting a lot of grenadiers, possibly half track, and that way hopefully to end the fight early on. But this shall not be it. This shall be a fight you never expected. Fuel over here being secured. Another infantry section moving up there. What shall be third? A lieutenant or another infantry section from the Ironroman, the Roman of Iron. And we are in fact seeing a lieutenant out. Lieutenant quickly moving up. The truck packing up. Initial engagement up here. Recce section going pretty aggressively for CryHavoc's pioneers, probably trying to see if we can secure some vital points and deny CryHavoc vital resources within the initial early game. Truck on the move, likely going to set up around here. Not unusual to see the truck take up a dominating central position. They should be careful, of course, against any sort of initial early MGs, but of course in this case he does not have to worry about them, since of course he's very likely to know that his opponent has gone very heavy on the pioneers and the Pioniere. Thus he doesn't have to worry about any direct base assaults initially, featuring something that could very much suppress all of his troops right on the spot. But CryHavoc securing a lot of butter, but already their cutoff points are being taken, although another one might be secured there, thus cutting off CryHavoc from the entire left side of the map. And of course he can't do anything about it, since he only has pioneers. So in that sense, Ironroman can really throw a wrench into CryHavoc's plans. And there we go, skirmish phase up. He will need some pioneers back to set up the Krieg barracks. The question is, when will that happen? Truck up there, central point and such being secured. So far Ironroman is not bothering with there. He's clearly more intent on disrupting the resources of CryHavoc. Although CryHavoc is definitely also working other paths to get resources currently on the right hand side. Question is, how quickly will Ironroman respond to that? Going in, sneaking in. Lieutenant on the move. Munitions falling to the Roman of Iron and the 7th Armoured. So no real engagement, of course, in the early game. That is quite common when you see a pioneer heavy start. It's not about fighting, it's about taking territory, harassing, and generally trying not to lose a lot of men. There we go, the 3rd infantry section out for Ironroman, engaging the pioneers, going for that strategic point. Not that's really going to do a lot as such, although we also see this point being connected. That means CryHavoc will be able to reconnect all of the territory towards the west, and seems like Ironroman's infantry section is not quite bothering. Now going for that cutoff point to deny resources there to CryHavoc. In fact, very little territory currently being held by CryHavoc. Krieg barracks at the same time is going up as swiftly as possible. Pioneers being sent in here might have taken a wrong turn, instead running straight into a Vickers machine gun emplacement. Not quite fortunate for those pioneers. Pioneers down south also being pushed away. Krieg barracks almost up. And there we go, and we are seeing a half track starting out for CryHavoc first. Going to be a bit difficult for the infantry section to actually deal with. Of course, you can then probably be likely to follow up with grenadiers, and that is what will be happening. Die Grenadiere, Deutsches Infanterie. Munitions secured there. Ironroman slightly more stabilizing things now, having thrown away most of the pioneers roaming behind his lines, although there of course are still a few. But CryHavoc is definitely cut off on most of his resources. He's only got that small fuel point and that munitions right next to his base. Grenadiers on the way. Half track has been manned with some pioneers fighting up here. Pioneers going in to protect the fuel point, but they are quickly getting dropped by the Oh, what the bloody hell is it called? I can't remember the name of that damn rifle. Damn it. Not good. Pioneers here, though, getting engaged by the recce section. And already one pioneer batch as the half-track continues in. Infantry section can't do much. And there we go, the first squad of grenadiers. Probably one of many. We'll likely be seeing another one very soon. And there we go. A recce section already pinned down by the MGs mounted on the half-track. And grenadiers are going to move in for the kill, for the coup de grace. And meantime, pioneers up north are pinned down by an infantry section. Looks like they are retreating, but they could very well quickly go down. Recce section here, utterly pinned to the ground like bucks, getting murdered. Down to 2 men, down to 1 man. Definitely Ironroman should have been a bit faster there, but we do see the recce section quickly moving away. And we are seeing a bit of tagging going up there, but already note, I mean, there's no seemingly armoured rush going on for Ironroman. He seems to be taking a bit more casually, fighting with more infantry, and also not upgrading them all to recce sections like he did the last time. At the same time, also note the trench here. Again, he's very intent on ensuring that CryHavoc can't get the resources over there. And of course, a trench with some recce section protecting that strategic point will definitely do the trick. Infantry section up here now, feeling the wrath of the half-track. Like it's like their recce comrades. Grenadiers pushing up, and then meanwhile in support, another grenadier squad, thus giving CryHavoc and the 2nd SS, das Reich, 2 squads of them. And they are quickly on the move. Kampfkraft sent up, veterans are on the way. That's good, that's good. Slit trench going up here to protect the main headquarters against any Hun assaults. And there we go, the half-track leading the way, the grenadiers pushing up. Panzerstrike on the way, pioneers also following up. Trench almost done. Minor fighting going on here. The pioneers quickly being run off. Looks like the recce section has been replaced with a Bren section. The Bren standing for 2 names, actually Enfield and a small town in Czechoslovakia, Brno, or something like that. I have no idea. I haven't actually supposed to pronounce it, but it was a small town where the British actually got the Bren gun design with. It's slightly modified, I believe, but overall was a Czechoslovakian design. The Czechoslovakians, in fact, were the 2nd largest weapons industry in Europe back then. Grenadiers assault, though, failing due to another Bren section actually tearing through the haystacks, and the Bren gun was in fact a quite accurate light machine gun. It did not have a large magazine, nor did it fire a lot of rounds, but overall it was accurate. And that was rather what the British wanted. In some sense, of course, the MG42 was accurate as well, but also more lethal, but rather for different reasons. Of course, it also expended a lot more munitions, but that basically came down to the difference in how the Germans and the British sort of viewed machine guns. Overall, they both viewed them as important, which is why both of their rivals were considerably not very advanced, still sort of World War I style, not semi-automatics. Again, both sides focused on the MGs, but again, they came up with very different light machine guns, what they wanted out of them. So that, of course, is rather interesting. Half-track pushing forwards again. 1 Panzerstrike actually murdered 2 Brits right there. Casualty station up. That's a good move for Ironroman. Good move. Troops reinforcing from there. Bren gun rounds flying away. And in fact, some of the earlier German forces would have had a slightly similar thing to the Bren gun. In fact, the SS Panzer Divisions, as they were known in the beginning of the war, would in fact have been equipped with Czechoslovakian light machine guns, as the Waffen-SS in the beginning of the war was actually pretty poorly equipped, and the army rather didn't really regard it as much. It was only after they had fought pretty hard that they were sort of seen as elite divisions, and thus were actually given better equipment. But in fact, initially they would have been equipped with something similar to the Bren gun as the light machine gun. So, fun little fact there. Fun little fact there. Pioneers here fighting against Lieutenant, realizing he's a bit overpowered by the presence of the mighty Pioniere. In the meanwhile, Sappers up with a Piet. Half-track taking a nasty hit right there. Grenadiers fighting from heavy cover, the other Grenadiers also pulling up. And Grenadiers quickly popping out there as well. Quite an infantry force, going to be a bit of a problem for the Brits since they will be out in the open, and thus easy targets for the troops of CryHavoc, but at the same time Ironroman has him nicely contained. And note, we are almost at the 10-minute mark, but no armored command truck. There's no intent from Ironroman. There's not even a captain yet, so there's clearly something different going on here, which is slightly worrying. 17-pounder going up for Ironroman to prevent any vehicular massed assaults, armored assaults directly on his command post. No doctrine as of yet though for CryHavoc. Unit went down likely a pioneer squad which bit the dust. Grenadiers here though doing quite a bit of damage to the infantry. Left medic moving up, going to get gunned down though. Victory point there was harassed. Pioneers making good progress there, but still CryHavoc holding on to this area, denying vital munitions to CryHavoc. And in fact, it's time to have a look at Ironroman and the 7th Armoured. 17-pounder gun firing away, doing a bang-up job of not hitting anything. Bunker going up for CryHavoc, could be a medic bunker to try and keep up some attritional fighting against the Tommies. In the meanwhile, CryHavoc looks to be moving up the right flank to take away some territory, possibly do some harm, some damage. In the meanwhile, a huge British advance quickly pushes off the pioneers hanging out there. And we in fact see now 4 infantry sections up for Roman, 2 of them equipped with Brens and 1 Recce. Captain on the way. Actually a bit delayed there.
German forces are trying to
and there we go, Grenadiers advancing straight at the Recce section, straight at the field support truck. Then we quickly see a response from Ironroman, sending in most of the rest of his infantry. Still no Bren guns or riot grenades for the last section. There we go, pushing forward to the half-track. It's quickly getting run off. The Piets can very quickly knock it out. There's another Grenadier squad here, in fact, to link up with them, so they can definitely put up a slightly more stiff amount of resistance to the British advance. Although again, no, Bren guns are very lethal. They can very quickly cut down troops, in particular even on retreat. They are essentially, I mean, they couldn't be considered a bit like the LMG-42, although they are a bit more accurate, but they also fire slightly slower. But overall, that small accuracy difference actually makes them considerably more powerful over the LMG-42. And there we go, the Bren guns are getting, the Bren gunners are getting murdered. A bit too reckless there, Ironroman. A bit too reckless. Old Winston will not be happy about waste of good British soldiers. And there we go, full retreat. But Ironroman was able to hold out. And we could see a Stuart light tank come out now, or something else entirely. Panzer Abwehrkanone placed up, and we are in fact seeing a Stuart light tank coming out there. Still no sign of a staghound. This is definitely ominous. Surely it cannot be that Ironroman is actually doing something different. That would be frightening in some ways. Whoops, microphone perhaps a bit too close. My apologies for that.
Where to? Go ahead. HQ command trucks up to ready. Go ahead.
We are losing an ammo.
Going for the munitions there. If you can't have it, he certainly won't give it to Ironroman either.
We're ready to roll out.
And a bit of quiet as the two forces are sizing themselves up. Stuart light tank was quite fondly regarded on by the British, in fact, particularly during North Africa, which was the real first Lend-Lease tank, and it's actually able to do something alright against the early Panzer Freeze, although it was quickly replaced by the Shermans as sort of the main tank right down there. Also saw service, in fact, on the Eastern Front as Lend-Lease tanks. I believe the Soviets actually quite like those as well. Grenadiers still making a run here, going to probably try and see if he can't get out. The buggers hiding in the trench. We're seeing a mortar up for CryHavoc, the Granatenwerfer. British troops advancing up the right-hand side. Sapper, Stuart, infantry section, whatnot. There we go. Bren gunners, though. A bit dangerous situation, bit dangerous there, but they're still holding out. They're actually still doing some damage to the tons. The Bren guns firing away with glee. The Stuart here could very well go down. No! Oh, the pack was not quite aimed correctly. The Stuart makes a glorious escape away from German anti-tank gunners. More British infantry advancing. We could see another section soon reformed. Although we could also see another Grenadier squad very much reformed as well for Ironroman. Pack crew taking some nasty hits. British infantry clearly want that gone as swiftly as possible. Still no sign of an armoured command truck from Ironroman. What on earth is going on? Infantry section there pushed off. Mortar Bren section likely getting mortared right there. This quickly falling once more to Ironroman, and the munitions therein contained. This section has still not been upgraded, interestingly enough, and he's got a ton of munitions. He could consider rifle grenades or Bren guns. Either would work quite nicely, I think. Recce section, though, quickly replaces the Brens in the trench. Bit of an exposed trench, that is. Someone at battalion has it in for us. Likely so. And what is going on here? He's actually laying down a 25-pounder gun. That's, again, irregular stuff. This is not what I'm used to seeing from Ironroman.
COs have what they need to call in artillery.
This is, again, rather irregular play. For him, anyways. Grenadiers are advancing straight at the infantry section. They are holding out. They are getting mortar. They might get grenaded as well. The Germans are intent on getting that out of the trenches. And there we go. 2 men down. Also, the Grenadiers are a bit too close. They're actually getting hit by their own mortar rounds. A bit reckless that by CryHavoc. But then I don't think you'd expect common discipline from anyone whose name is CryHavoc. Had it been more CryOrdnung muss sein, then we might have more likely been expecting some more sensible attack tactics. The Grenadiers holding out near the half track. Mortar ones continue to raid down. They don't do much there. Another push up by Ironroman. Still nothing for that intersection, but we do see the 25-pounder gun is up for Ironroman. The 25-pounder gun was altered several times during North Africa for some, used as an anti-tank gun. In fact, it was not uncommon that howitzers were used as them, in fact, in some cases. But generally the British used a slightly different system. When it came to artillery and anti-tank guns, they rather rated them on the size of the shell fired, not on the caliber of the gun. So 25-pounder gun rather refers to the fact it's a 25-pound shell it's firing, like 17-pounder gun refers to the fact it's a 17-pound shell. Austrian flak panzer rolls up 37mm, so active panzer command up for CryHavoc. Oh, the Iraqi section is definitely in trouble. The 37mm will likely end it soon. The flak panzer will zerstören sie Tommies. And there we go, Iraqi section on the run. Will he make it back home? And we are seeing the 25-pounder gun firing away into the centre. Not really hitting him much though. And over here, Bren section coming under fire from the half track, the Mittlerer Schützenpanzerwagen or Grenadier Panzerwagen, which was apparently actually supposed to be called, or was in some cases called, after the whole change from, well, Schützen divisions over to Grenadier divisions. Well, Grenadiers, that name change that happened about 1942, but still apparently it was largely just called the Schützenpanzerwagen. But still, apparently again, the name change was supposed to be Grenadier Panzerwagen. Fun fact. But again, not one you actually hear about a lot. And the cancer shot really tears through the Grenadiers there, giving them one hell of a shave and pretty much also a dissection. Which is usually what you don't get when you're getting a shave. At least that's what I've been told. Stuart though advancing. Ostfin hanging a bit of trouble, but there we go. Stuart exposing the rear. A bit dangerous, but actually trying to protect the munitions. Not too worried about the flak panzer, but still needs to be careful. We are seeing Grenadiers moving in with the Raketen Panzerbüchse. And mortar spotted. Stuart dodges the punch strike at the same time. Large British force moving up on the right-hand side. Grenadier squad getting mutilated. Not looking good, not looking good. And there we go. Dead. Dead, ladies and gentlemen. The Sintort and the Ostfit is actually doing quite a bit of an alright job alongside the punch strike. The Stuart is with a damaged engine, destroyed engine in fact. It's trying to get out of there, but I fear it will be the end of the Stuart. And there we go. We are in fact now seeing an armoured command truck. That's almost 20 minutes into the game. This is definitely unusual, peculiar even, but I'm very sure we'll soon be seeing stack and spam, I'm sure. Anything else would be quite frightening.
Last contact report shows a Stuart has been knocked out.
Last contact report, a Stuart has been knocked out. Osman moves up with his 37mm gun, doing some damage to the Tommies. Can we get on with it? I do love some of the British talk, so absolutely fascinating. But a pack has actually been recruited by the Brits. They're actually moving it pretty aggressively in. That can actually backfire a bit, since of course it will be close to that in mortar. Granatenwerfer, artillery going in at the same time at the bunker. Grenadier squad gets reformed, gets hit by artillery. Pack gets hit by mortar fire. Blimey, so much artillery of all kinds going in around that bunker. And again, bunkers tend to be a bad place to be around. They tend to be priority targets of this. A lot of fire will be directed against them. And a new lieutenant out for Ironroman to replace the one lost. Lots of artillery going down there, an absolute arse load of it. And looks like he might have gone for Royal Canadian Artillery to aid him in this fight against the dastardly Hun. Let's go return to CryHavoc. Now going for the Rissenkreuzträger to assist him with some Sturmgewehrs. Veteran to on the way for the infantry. And the armor command track is lighting up. So there we go, the Staghound spam will likely commence. That which is his trademark, that which he's infamous for, across several dimensions. Troops moving out. Bunker going up. Veteran to do for the German infantry. Brits shifting about. Ironroman not just attacking one spot at the same time over and over again, but shifting about, also meaning, of course, that CryHavoc can't quite, establish a defensive line right there as he'd like to, which also means he has to be moving about, which definitely gives Ironroman a much larger chance to actually succeed. And there we go. We do see a Cromwell. That's not a Staghound. That's a. What's going on here? Not. This isn't. Oh dear. Oh well. Cromwell out. Cromwell out. Cruiser tank. Much later mark. In fact, there were several iterations of those. The Crusader being one of the earlier ones, which serves in North Africa. Heavy artillery going in here. Mortar taking a hit. Ostwind very close to going down. Cromwell moving out with a 75mm gun. The Cromwell was an incredibly fast tank and was in fact also used as a reconnaissance tank. Knights Cross, though, having a bit of trouble with the Bren gunners. So the Grenadiers. Cromwell firing away. And oh dear, this Bren section actually needs to get away. Come on, Ironroman. Get them out of there, man. And looks like the Grenadiers are not quite paying attention. They could easily knock out this Bren gun. Cromwell continuing to fire away. 4 kills. There we go. Bren section running away. Artillery going in on the new medic bunker. We also see defensive doctrine up for CryHavoc. Die defensiven Doktrinen. Half track wrecked. My God. Another pack on the way for CryHavoc. After the one he lost to the Tommies. Cromwell will need some repairs, but already done quite a nice job. 4 kills. Definitely not typical Ironroman. Cromwell getting repaired. Troops moving about. Small force, largely led by officers, less men. The Bren section is moving in. And looks like he's upgraded almost all of his infantry sections with Bren guns. Except this one, which looks to have been recently reformed again. Casualty stations can also pay off. Like medic bunkers can, although they can also not pay off if you're a bit unfortunate. Sneaking in there. Lovely, lovely. A bit of good harassment from Ironroman. Pioneers pushed away. Grenadiers moving in. And there we go. Full assault from Ironroman. And again, lots of Bren guns, lots of light machine gun fire. Although again, one section down to a man. He just needs to get it out. Well, that's a waste, Ironroman. An absolute waste of good men. And there we go. Full retreat. He could lose the section. Artillery going in. Medic bunker down. Looks like a unit elsewhere was lost for CryHavoc and the 2nd SS Panzer Division Das Reich. Oh dear. Cromwell moving about. Troops are definitely going to need some reinforcement up here, and we also see that munitions are spent on providing some healing from it. Cromwell moves in, gets off a nice hit, kills a Hun. And an attempt by CryHavoc to secure the centre that were immediately met with stalwart and resilient British firepower. And something else on the way from the command truck. That must be a stag hound then. And a bit of quiet half tank, and equipping it with the Stuka Fuß upgrade, also known as the Wurfrahmen 40, was largely used by Panzer Pioneers heavy platoon actually. But there we go, rushing a bit too quickly forwards, CryHavoc, rushing a bit too quickly, and what do we have? I don't believe it. Cromwell command tank. He doesn't have staghounds. Ironroman doesn't have staghounds. I think it must have entered into the Twilight Zone or something. This can't be right. This can't be Ironroman. Not the one we all know and a large people despise to the point where he's practically viewed as Satan. But apparently he's not. He's actually using a command tank. He's actually using something a bit more sensibly. This is amazing. Whew. Definitely not something you would expect to see, but today, on the same day as we're seeing the Commodore 2 beta, you will also see Ironroman not spamming staghounds. I'm pretty sure there must be a few of my viewers now all misty-eyed, but there you go. Grenadiers here, they're running into a bit of problem. 25 pound a gun firing away. Grenadiers getting murdered. The Bren guns again can do an awful lot. Again, you should be very, very careful around the Bren gun. Very nasty light machine gun, in particular since they get 2 of them. The Grenadiers, though, look to be mostly making out that all the one squad went down. The Cromwell with 10 kills on it. Very nasty, very nasty. Panzer IV on the way. Panzerkampfwagen 4. Rockets being unleashed from the Stuka Fuß. And of course, the half-tech was not the only unit to actually be equipped with the Wurfrahmen 40. We also know the Hotchkiss was equipped with it, but even some other French vehicles were equipped with it to basically provide some rocket support.
Base is under enemy fire.
Cromwell pulling back, advancing up here. Ironroman definitely has the situation under control. Not looking too good for CryHavoc, although now he does have a Panzerkampfwagen 4, workhorse of the SS Panzer Division. Cromwell command tank moving up to support the actual tank. British infantry advancing. And a veteran C2 captain. That's also a bit distressing. But Ironroman, Sand Staghounds, pulling back his armour a bit. Holding on quite nicely to most of the territory. Actually doing quite a bit of damage to CryHavoc. And I do believe we're seeing actually Overwatch, artillery. Yes, airburst shells firing away. Doing quite a bit of nasty damage to the infantry. And airburst shells were definitely nothing, you know, unique to the British, but they were definitely nasty, and certainly also, in fact, when employed by the Germans, actually caused American tank destroyers to be a bit nervous, since they had, you know, an open top, meaning the crew could very easily get murdered that way. But we are seeing now Ironroman's base getting hammered by German rockets. Panzer IV taking some hits, and there we go, a Cromwell command tank helping a Sherman Firefly. That's definitely a nasty combination, as the Firefly will be that much more lethal. It will do, well, basically a lot more damage since it can fire a lot faster. And there we go, this Austrian could very likely go down very quickly.
You're losing a sector.
And there we go, main gun destroyed. So close, so close. And oh, the damaged engine on the Panzer. Oh, do you see a pack up that could force the Sherman Firefly away? And it does. Another nasty hit from the Firefly gun is advancing, but of course also the Cromwell gets benefits from the command tank. Really nasty thing there, really nasty. Nice to see Ironroman actually utilizing the command tank. It is definitely a sight for sore eyes. Knights crossholders making a run straight at the infantry section, doing quite a bit of damage, tearing through the Recce section with their Sturmgewehrs, their assault rifles. Another infantry section running into problems with the Knights crossholders, although we do see several officers nearby to provide support. and veterans you want for the lieutenant, but we do see that they're ultimately pushed away by the might of the Ritterkreuzträger. Motor has not been recruited. We could see another Panzer IV. Well, no, not really, since there's a lot of fuel lacking for CryHavoc, and it's actually time for the mid-game analysis. And it's all time for looking at Ironroman again, but mid-game analysis, I mean, CryHavoc is definitely a problem. He's taking some damage. Ironroman has the advantage in terms of resources, in terms of map control, in terms of overall force, strength, and composition. He's got a nice mix of infantry, armor, and he's got artillery. I mean, Ironroman is really set, and he's soon going to get the priest, so in many ways, Ironroman is definitely holding out quite nicely, and again, without using staghounds. And of course, for him to basically win, I mean, he just needs to keep up the pressure. He needs to keep CryHavoc contained. He needs to do so without actually suffering too heavy losses. And of course, he's also got another advantage, which is that CryHavoc can't call in a King Tiger or a Tiger tank. So the heaviest armor that Ironroman has to worry about is Panthers. And of course, there's a chance of Flak 88s, but Ironroman will likely then be able to call in sufficient artillery to basically knock it into the Stone Age. So there's definitely going to be an uphill fight for CryHavoc, and I definitely think the defensive doctrine was a bit of a poor choice by CryHavoc. Of course, he needs more armor if he wants to have a chance. He needs to be able to sort of quickly move about, do some damage here and there. He needs to whittle down Ironroman's forces. He can't afford a major head-on engagement with Ironroman at the moment. He needs to choose minor engagements where he can then hopefully win by doing some solid damage to Ironroman. That's basically it, but let's return to the fight. Let's see how this works. And of course, having the artillery basically continue to pound away at Roman's base, doing some damage, of course, is also going to be a good move. Knights Cross Soldiers here, though, actually carrying out that strategy of small strikes here and there, now getting met with the full brunt of the British forces. And the priest arrives. The priest, though, was an American self-propelled artillery piece. Actually, the British used something very similar called the Bishop, which was basically this, except with a 25-pounder gun. Or was it the Deacon? Or was it something else again? The British making a full advance on the west, although several of the troops are quite wounded. Less good. There we go, the priest firing away. 4 kills on the half-track with its rockets. Heavy artillery striking away at the base of CryHavoc, and looks like we might be seeing... oh yes, a creeping barrage tearing through the bunker, tearing through the medics, threatening to knock out... oh, several grenadiers went down right there. Half-track way, oh my goodness! So much infantry wiped out in a blink of an eye. CryHavoc was simply too slow, and he got absolutely massacred by a well-placed creeping barrage from Ironroman. Absolutely amazing just to see that amount of casualties going on in such short time. Packs are being pushed up, but of course they are in a very exposed position. Of course, there will be plenty of artillery ready to be called down any moment on CryHavoc's packs. This is a very dangerous situation, as at the same time we do see Ironroman making some solid progress up the left side with more of his infantry. Very, very nice stuff. The packs advancing the grenadiers down to 1 man, I think, and they got wiped out. We might see the packs be able to get the Firefly, but now there's actually no line of sight, so the packs can't. And there we go. Direct hit from a 25-pounder gun and knocking out one of the pack crews. CryHavoc mission has definitely gone very much pear-shaped. And artillery striking on. CryHavoc crying GG now, though seemingly not leaving, which can definitely be considered a bit poor sportsmanship. Or at least if you really do intend to then afterwards going on realizing perhaps I can't fire on, then I would say it's alright to say, well, I might have misspoken too early, I'll keep fighting, but at least, no, don't just, call GG early on and, then keep on fighting. That's a bit rude, I think. And looks like a Bren gun has been dropped for the Germans to use, perhaps. And looks like a Recce section could go down for Ironroman. That would definitely prove to be nasty. Although he's got a ton of infantry still. And the Recce section did go down. More artillery raining down on the base of CryHavoc, striking his Panzer Command and the corrugated armor and concrete. And there we go, looks like the Grenadiers went for a Bren gun. Look, Heinz, I remember this. A back in the early days. Although it didn't say Bren, and it did not have school Huns all written all over it. It looks like Ironroman's making a bit of a push there. One Cromwell, supported by the Firefly and other bits, and lots of infantry moving forwards, including the captain. And of course he can Victor target, although he took a nasty hit right there and it's quickly forced away. Nice hit there by the Panzer IV. Cromwell taking hits, Ostland moving up. Definite work there for the Panzers of the 2nd SS, holding back the Tommies. There we go, one section definitely took a brutal thrashing, it shall not soon forget. But Ironroman is still holding on, he's still holding most of the map. In fact, he's still got some Bren gunners waiting in there and having a nice little tea party with scones and biscuits.
Gunline has confirmed they can execute counter-battery drills.
And now we do see counter-battery drills available, meaning if any iron artillery from CryHavoc is fired, Ironroman's artillery can fire back on it, although it's not necessarily that effective, since most of the Wehrmacht artillery can actually quickly move away. But expert engineers up to quickly repair the tanks, and we actually do see a Flak 88 up for CryHavoc. That's actually a bit of a bold move, considering again the amount of artillery that Ironroman has available. So CryHavoc again being a bit bold there. Certainly not what I'd be prescribing in this situation, but could work out. And we do see it's going to be used against the British tanks. There we go. Cromwell takes a nasty hit from the Flak 88, also called the Ak by the British. And the Panzer IV went down. Nicely done there by British armor, possibly the 17-pounder gun. Either way, the command tank actually gained veterans 1 at the same time. Full British amounts over there, catching the Knights Cross. Looks like the Knights Cross are doing their best, but they're simply going to get overwhelmed within minutes. Although if Lieutenant could go down, the Lieutenant, and the Lieutenant is deft. Oh dear, the Knights Cross definitely took a toll on them there. Grenadiers fighting there. Cromwell command tank is in dire trouble. Ironroman needs to get it out of there now before the Hun cooks it up. And there we go, the Cromwell command tank actually did go out. A huge loss right there for Ironroman as he just gained veterans 1. We do not see any further armor there. And looks like the Firefly could be next. The Flag 88 does have one of the longer ranges in the game, comparable to that of the Firefly, which also has a huge range in the game. Perhaps more than some people do realise. So, nasty, nasty stuff there. But Ironroman still holds a large force, and he's got 4 infantry sections with Bren guns, with light machine guns ready to cut down some Krauts. The artillery continues to rain down. Ostwind moving up, advancing on the foul Tommies. The base structures of CryHavoc are still holding up, although that Panzer Command will need some dire repairs very soon. Another bunker going up, likely a medic bunker, to continue to keep up with this rate of attrition being brought down upon him, like the wrath of the British gods. The wrath of Churchill. And looks like another creeping barrage, likely going to try and knock out that Flag 88. Definitely one way of doing it. Moving towards here. So did not get the flak. And a captain went down. That was active veteran 2 captain, possibly veteran 3. That's definitely going to hurt Ironroman a bit. Does, of course, deny him something to Victor, the target. Of course, Victor, 2 pieces of howitzers straight on the same target. Although it looks like the flak crew did go down. The British advance is going on. And, of course, if Ironroman didn't notice that flak is gone, he could try and make a move for it now. Although there is still 1 pack remaining out in the open field to try and stop the Tommy Panzers. And there we go, the Cromwell is taking some nasty hits in the flank from the Panzerabwehrkanone. Panzer also perhaps missed. No, it actually missed. And the Cromwell is out of control, ladies and gentlemen. The Cromwell's out of control and blows up. CryHavoc and the 2nd SS are still in the fight, but so is the 7th Armoured. And we are in fact seeing a second self-propelled artillery piece. We are seeing Ironroman continuing to lay down death from afar upon the German positions, knocking out an awful lot of dirt. Panzer Command barely standing, though that could largely describe most of what CryHavoc currently has, barely standing. And I imagine if any of his troops could actually hear anything, I'd be deeply surprised, as I imagine their eardrums are quite perforated by now from all the artillery that Ironroman has been launching over them. I'm still amazed at no stat counts. I mean, he's actually handling himself quite nicely all of a sudden with this different strategy. It's less wasteful as well. I think the problem for Ironroman is he's actually a bit too timid now. In some cases, when he's destroyed the main backbone of CryHavoc, he then doesn't quite follow up in pursuit. He's a bit like Montgomery in that. Great in a set piece battle, but then once the enemy's broken, he flounders a bit. But still, definitely a fascinating fight. Definitely rare to see a armoured fight like this, including the British. And Ironroman of all players. Well, nice to see. It should be interesting to see what he actually does in coming years too then. Artillery firing away. Central victory point being taken. It looks like the Ironromanish troops are moving forwards. The 7th Armoured, the Desert Rat, they're going for the throat. Knights Cross doing what they can to take that central victory point. They're being pushed away. In fact, Ironroman is definitely in the lead in terms of victory points. Langres moving up with stolen Bren guns, firing away at the Tommies. 14 kills on this squad. Light machine gun fire being exchanged. And the British artillery firing away again and again. Panzer Commando has not been repaired, but looks like Ironroman might now be more intent on the Panzers and on the Flak 88, which could be to the advantage of CryHavoc, since that Panzer Command can handle that much more. And there we go, Medic Bunker taking another hit. So many Medic Bunkers down, but at least he's being consistent in it, which is actually good. Though he could consider perhaps placing that a bit more behind buildings where or the bocage, where it can then actually absorb some of the fire. Just a suggestion anyways. And let's return to CryHavoc as the fight continues beyond the 40 minutes mark. The Commonwealth still stands strong, but it's having problems actually squashing out CryHavoc, finishing the job, ending the resistance of the 2nd SS Panzer Division das Reich. Artillery being called in. Flak 88 firing away, recruited by Grenadiers. And British infantry once more sent scurrying away. And the Brent section still holding up in that trench over there. Grenadiers once more launching a heroic assault, but once more being met by severe British resistance. All the rockets flying in do their best to send the troops back, allowing the Grenadiers to advance a bit further. But we are seeing blockade fire, spare fire from Ironroman, basically to ensure that CryHavoc can't even consider getting close to that victory point. I mean, really, some interesting artillery tactics going in there from Ironroman. He's actually one of the few players, regularly and consistently use creeping barrages as well, which is actually an interesting fact, which also tends to get a bit muddled up in the fact he also tends to be the one who also uses stack counts to an absurd degree. But we do see the Grenadiers advancing, making good progress towards the 17-pounder gun, opening up for fresh Panzers to arrive for CryHavoc with a less of a threat. Grenadiers advancing, Bren gunners doing their best against the Tommies. 17 kills, by the way, 17 infantry kills, tearing through the British troops. Hans continues to fire away on the gun he so vividly remembers from his younger days in France. Heavy artillery knocking out several sappers right there, including some with Piet. Heavy fighting going on here. Bren gunners forcing down the Knights Cross down to one man. The Bren gunners are unstoppable. And the Grenadiers were forced away from the centre. Ostwind is the only thing really remaining from CryHavoc currently, which is Armoured. The Panzer Command still needs repairs, although it could now actually put up a Panzer IV. And Ironroman is actually down to only a Firefly at the moment. Oh dear. And another grenadier squad. Either trained or put together. And there we go. Panzerkampfwagen 4. Another one sent out to hold back the Allied hordes. And we are seeing a second half set going up. Another Stuka zu Fuss. Lieutenant here running into some severe problems from Ironroman. And British troops are mounting up the right hand side. Enemy vehicle buttoned. And there we go. Rocket artillery. Oh, the Ostwind could go down. The Firefly could knock it out with a 17-pounder gun. That could be definitely a considerable loss to CryHavoc. And there we go. The Osten Flakpanzer is kaput. While the Grenadiers do their best. Although a direct hit from artillery knocks out one of the Grenadier squads, sending the dead men flying everywhere. Firefly being pushed back by intense rocket artillery in return from CryHavoc. And again, so much artillery. 20 kills in that one. One vehicle will kill, one armor kill, one structural kill. Blimey. This is definitely not your usual fight. This is definitely one of the more interesting ones, I would say, in a longer time. And I'm sure there will be some disagreeing on that. But Panzer forming. Oh, close to getting out. He gets the lieutenant. The machine guns finish off the wounded lieutenant as he was desperately clinging on to the victory point. The MGs tore through him, finished it up. And, oh, close to right there. Close to knocking out the rocket half-track. Bren gunners moving up the flank. Panzer IV could finish them off. Not more on the way currently for CryHavoc. Artillery close to knock up. Grenadiers moving up with the Bren gun. 19 infantry kills. Getting very close to the Bren gunners. One Bren gunner down. Two and another Bren. Oh! Ironroman tried to recruit it. Oh dear. Flak gets wrecked, but was it worth it? Was it worth handing over a second Bren gun, losing an entire section to CryHavoc? I'm not entirely convinced that was worth it. I'm not at all. And now, of course, we do see this Grenadier squad will be much more heavily equipped with Bren guns, able to lay down much more serious and threatening fire upon the British troops. Firefly being pushed away, artillery going heavily in, minor work going on the left flank, and so little infantry left for both players, and just so much artillery going down. This is an absolutely insane duel of artillery. So much going down, so many men killed, so much armor wrecked. And another Panzer IV rolling out for the 2nd SS Panzer Division. And there we go, the Bren squad holding back the advancing Tommies, although they're down to 2 men. Another Grenadier squad reforming again. The medic bunker paying off itself. So I imagine that casualty station will also have paid off. It's paid off itself a few times by now. But down to 1 infantry section, in fact, for Ironroman. He must have taken heavy losses to these rocket half-tracks. That's quite nasty. Quite nasty indeed. And artillery once more going in towards the medic bunker. Ironroman, they're still holding most of the map. They're not the center right now, not the victory point. 22 kills. And that Bren section needs to get out of there. It needs to very much get out of there. Ironroman's infantry losses are heavy. More tanks now rolling out. A fresh Cromwell command tank, a fresh Cromwell regular tank. Grenadiers pushing forwards with Panzerschreck und Bren. But they are taking punishing fire from the British tanks. Panzer IV running into a bit of a problem there. Knights Cross moving up the far west flank. And heavy rocket continues way down, slaughtering the sappers that were left. This Panzer IV needs to get out of there, but the other Panzer IV is actually a bit blocking the way, which is less good. And another barrage from the priest. And another creeping barrage by the looks of it. He's trying to perhaps catch several units about. But looks like that CryHavoc has learned his lesson, in fact, just moving away. But now, oh, he's still stuck in the path. He's still stuck in the path of the creeping barrage. He's moving into it now. Nein! Domkopf! He lost an entire Grenadier squad and the one with the Bren guns. Ach, du lieber! So another victory for Ironroman and his creeping barrages. And more Cromwells are actually arriving from Ironroman to deal with the Grenadiers. Firing away with high explosive shells. And of course, all under the supervision of the Cromwell, ensuring they can fire fast and a bit longer. Definitely nasty, nasty stuff, but Cromwell command tank is taking several hits. Now the Grenadier squad, but again getting pounded mercilessly by the Cromwells, while the bunker is getting subjected to an artillery strike, which shall never end apparently. And there we go, direct hit causes the bunker to finally collapse completely, and Bren guns seem to be lying all over the map. Knight's Cross sneaking in from behind. So much going on. The Panzer force are absolutely wrecked, and at this stage Ironroman can actually move in and direct hit on the Grenadier squad with the Panzer strike. There's only the Panzer force, and they are heavily wounded. If Ironroman was to push in now with his tanks, he could actually finish off CryHavoc. He really could, but he's moving away. Ironroman is apparently worried that CryHavoc has a lot more, or perhaps it's the Knight's Cross soldiers, because Ironroman has no more infantry. But he's not pushing forwards. He's not going for the killing blow. He is not going for the coup de grace. He is not finishing off CryHavoc, and that could be very much the time needed for CryHavoc to get back, because now we are seeing the Panzer Kampfwagen 5 on the way. Panzer. Might of the Third Reich. Cool. This could be the turning point. Both players are so utterly exhausted, but with the Panther, and again, the fact is that CryHavoc is hanging on by a tether, but if he gets that Panther, he might be able to just sufficiently strike back at Ironroman, and Ironroman does not know. His Firefly is in a dangerous condition. There are no sappers to repair right now, and again, if he moved forward now, he could have done it, but he didn't. And that could be his undoing. Sometimes, again, you just need to have a sort of that feeling of when you think you've destroyed your opponent sufficiently and then just moving in for the kill. And tragically, it seems like Ironroman rather missed his chance right here. But let's return to him. He's got quite a bit of resources floating, but he can't use it. He's not got quite enough population. Although there is one way, I think, to, upgrading the trucks can give you more of that. But oh well.
Target has been secured. Should we blow it up?
Well, we do see sappers on the way. We do see a fresh captain, probably to Victor targets. Knight's Cross equipped with a Panzerschreck. Brand section quickly pushed away.
Germans are attacking our supply lines.
And there we go. The Panther is ready. Die Panzerkampfwagen 5 sind bereit zu zerstören. Die Tommies. For the Fatherland. For glory. And there we go. Rolling forwards. And the Firefly is in an absolutely dreadful state. It needs to be away, of course. With the Cromwell command tank, it actually still has a chance of actually doing some damage as long as the Cromwell stays on the way. But if CryHavoc goes for a rolling assault, if he goes straight for the Firefly and the Cromwells can't stop him, he might actually be able to knock it out, and that could be the end for Ironroman. Until, of course, he gets his sappers up, equipped with some extra repairs, and there we go. Quickly setting him out, fixing up that Firefly. This is definitely getting very tense. This is definitely getting very, very close. Bren gun still not picked up. In fact, several Bren guns not picked up. And there we go, expert repairs, allowing them to repair fast, and of course also over repair, which could also give Cromwell, the Ironroman's Cromwell's tanks the edge they need to sustain just that much more firepower than CryHavoc's panzers.
Improvement squared away.
Knight's Cross taking nasty hits right there.
Fuel point is being seized.
And there we go. Panzer IV moves up, takes a hit from the Firefly. All the Cromwells are taking some nasty hits as well. Other Panzer IV moving up. Panther actually taking very much at range. So again, CryHavoc is also worried about what Ironroman can do there. In fact, quite unsure about each other. They're trying to size them each other up, and they're not quite having full luck there. Not quite having full luck. Rockets flying away. Casualty station finally falls. Working hard on keeping those tanks working, or at least in semi-working condition again. He's got a lot of resources, but we can't use them because now currently his opponent CryHavoc actually holds a nice amount of the map, actually making it a problem for Ironroman, impressively enough. Though we are seeing Ironroman definitely making efforts to regain as much territory so he can fix that population cap. And looks like Fraps is finally bowing under for all of this. Heavy fighting going on for the centre. Come on, Fraps, you can hold up for just a bit longer, please. And I think Ironroman looks to be throwing away a priest here. What is he doing exactly? I think Ironroman might have sacrificed it. Panzer's advancing. And Ironroman is definitely hurting for population. Firefly in dire straits as the Panzers continue to advance, although one needs to pull away. And of course the Flak 88 in continual fire support position. Already got 2 British tanks. Panzer 4 pulls up, Panther continues to fire away. Firefly actually can't do anything, its main gun is destroyed. This could be it, the end of Ironroman. Despite his best and most valiant efforts, although we do see 2 Fireflies now being pushed out from 7th Armoured in an attempt to stem the cramped tide. British infantry moving in from the rear, probably making a run for the Flag 88, perhaps to ambush the Panzers, but it not quite succeeding. And another headquarters command truck coming in. Looks like a total collapse for Ironroman. Jerry's firing on us.
I say again, we are losing a victory point. Taking heavy casualties.
Cromwell advancing, Grenadiers in trouble. Half-track firing away again. Situation getting dire. There we go, a Firefly popping out. Panther immediately coming under fire. Command tank not yet veteran to 2. Sappers could try and run over and try and repair that Firefly, so its main gun could get firing again. Sapper section number 2 on the way, although field support truck could go down before it even happens.
We have a victory point under attack. German forces are trying to overrun one of our sectors.
And the field support truck bites the dust.
Germans have moved on one of our have a secured sector under attack.
And there are no Cromwell to help deal with the remaining Grenadiers. So that's actually a bit of a problem for Ironroman and the 7th Armoured. Although we do see the Firefly actually pushing away the Grenadiers. But there are still Panzers to worry with about. There's still the Flak 88, and there's only 1 priest left. The 25-pounder gun actually got wrecked, or perhaps Ironroman actually demolished it to make place for more units. I mean, he seems to have been desperate. Again, in his desire to get out more combat units, he went too heavy on the artillery as well, which actually crippled the rest of his force. Which is actually also interesting. Again, there's also a case made for not going too heavily on artillery, which this game could also be an example of.
We're ready to roll out.
But 29 kills on this priest, 2 vehicle kills, 1 armor kill, and there we go, wrecking the Flak 88. Veteran D2 on the Cromwell. Firefly barely repaired, but still combat ready. Cromwell pushing out, another Cromwell on the way. Barely infantry left. Points are ticking down. And CryHavoc's armor is actually a bit in a spot as well. Can Ironroman pull off? Can he secure victory from the jaws of defeat, or will he go down? Rockets falling down, most of them missing. Oh, but the Firefly goes out of control. The one most heavily damaged went down. Oh no. And the rest of the tanks are in a deplorable condition. Field support again calling against Ironroman, desperately in need of more efforts. Oh dear.
Forward supply lines are broken.
Oh dear. This is quite a close fight. Grenadiers take a nasty hit right there, and of course a veteran D2 command tank actually pretty much allows your tanks to fire twice as fast, I believe, or something close to it. At least Fireflies do. So that force with another Firefly can actually devastate CryHavoc's armor. if utilised properly.
Coming in. We have our orders, lads. We're setting up mobile.
Another barrage. And the Panzer Command actually went down. Kriegbags now being the main target of the last bit of Ironroman's artillery with 34 kills. Definitely been quite effective. And a second armor kill. More rockets going in again. Oh, direct hit on the Cromwell command tank, but it's still standing. The sappers, though, are heavily depleted. They're bleeding. They're dying. They're not entirely happy. Points are ticking down, but Ironroman does not need to rush away right away. Grenadiers moving on the left flank. Definitely getting tense. Definitely.
Lines are collapsing.
Very close. It could go either way. It could go either way, but it's definitely not looking like it could go Ironroman's way fully. And either player is actually nervous to make the move, and we do quickly see a third Flak 88 being put down by CryHavoc. It was in fact common used even in the beginning of the war for actually use Flak 88s in a more aggressive position to support advances. But there we go, it's actually being placed, but now Ironroman is making the push. We are seeing the Panzers pushing up, we're seeing the Panther moving up, Grenadiers moving in. Flag 88 not being finished, Flag 88 wrecked by the tanks. Command tank getting repaired, but the command tank could go down, main gun destroyed on the Cromwell. Panzers advancing, Grenadiers moving forwards, nothing can seemingly stop them. Ironroman moved a bit too far. Cromwell down, Cromwell down. And my apologies for the technical difficulties. Again, getting those 8 GB of RAM seems to have helped somewhat. Panther advancing, but again, Ironroman's armoured forces cannot hold up anymore. They are too damaged. Firefly down, brewed up by the might of the Panzer IV. And there we go, Ironroman leaving the 7th Armoured has been defeated in glorious combat. This was definitely one for the books. If not simply for the fact that Ironroman did not just spam stag hounds, he never used one. He actually used a command tank and he actually had quite a bit of power. The problem came down to when he actually then began going heavy on the artillery, thus denying him in fact the population to get more combat units and finish off that, and a slight timidity on Ironroman's side left several times where he could have, went in and delivered the coup de grace to CryHavoc, and he didn't. That, I think, was rather what killed Ironroman in the end, but this was a very close fight and Ironroman could have won it had he been a bit more bold and not quite so artillery heavy. Otherwise, good use of the Stuka zu Fuß, some clever uses of the Flak 88s, although again, I would not prefer to see something else in defensive. And that Panther in the end rather saw him through. Medic bunkers definitely also worked out. Good use of the Grenadiers with their brain guns, although again, sometimes he was simply too slow and he didn't quite seem to understand what happened with the creeping barrel. Actually, of course, the usage of creeping barrels is actually quite nicely done there by Ironroman. But again, my apologies for the technical difficulties, but I hope you enjoyed this match. I hope you learned something from it. If you did, why not subscribe? Tell your friends, share. If you didn't, well, why not send a replay video or provide some feedback in the comments. This is Imperial Dane saying cheers, and of course, there'll be a beta later in the day. I will be putting out some beta keys on my Facebook page. Link is in the description, so like it, and be sure to be updated on that bit, so you might have a chance of getting a beta key if you haven't already pre-ordered, because the pre-ordering is the more secure way of doing so. So there you go. Cheers.